The city of New York has always been a grand stage where the extraordinary becomes the baseline of daily life, a concrete landscape where the paths of millions cross under the permanent glow of neon lights and historic architecture. In the heat of early summer, just as the entire nation begins to turn its thoughts toward the midsummer celebrations of the 4th of July, a peculiar and electric energy has started to ripple through the bustling avenues of Manhattan. It is a familiar kind of tension for this metropolis, the sort of ambient buzz that signals something monumental is happening just behind the curtain, shielded from the eyes of the casual passerby, but intensely felt by those who know where to look. New York does not easily pause for anyone, yet there are rare moments when the sheer gravity of global cultural icons forces the capital of the world to slow down, adjust its rhythm, and prepare for a spectacle that will be remembered for decades. This story begins not with a formal announcement or a synchronized press release, but with the quiet, calculated orchestration of an event so massive that its scale defies the typical boundaries of private life. For those who follow the intersections of modern entertainment, athletic brilliance, and unprecedented global fame, the clues have been accumulating like static electricity in the air, waiting for the spark that will illuminate one of the most heavily guarded secrets of our time. Before we dive deep into the fascinating machinery of this unfolding mystery and uncover every piece of this high-stakes puzzle, make sure to join our community by subscribing to the channel so you never miss the breakdown of the world's most exclusive stories as they happen in real time. To understand the sheer magnitude of what is currently transpirating in the heart of the B.E. Apple, one must first look at the unique phenomenon of modern celebrity culture, where the boundaries between public entertainment and deeply personal milestones completely dissolve. We live in an era where true cultural icons are few and far between, individuals who can command the undivided attention of multiple generations simultaneously across different continents. When two distinct worlds of immense cultural influence collide, the resulting impact creates a narrative that transcends standard news cycles and enters the realm of modern mythology. On one side, you have the pinnacle of musical storytelling, an artist who has spent nearly 2 decades reshaping the global music industry, breaking every commercial record in existence, and cultivating a fan base whose loyalty and analytical dedication resemble an intelligence agency. On the other side, you have an elite athlete operating at the absolute peak of professional sports, a larger-than-life figure celebrated for his charisma, physical dominance, and championship pedigree in America's most popular game. For the past several months, their shared journey has been followed with an intensity that borders on obsession, with every public appearance dissected, every subtle gesture analyzed, and every brief vacation tracked by a global audience hungry for a glimpse of genuine romance amidst the manufactured glitz of the entertainment world. Yet, despite being two of the most photographed and talked about people on the planet, they have managed to maintain a sacred perimeter around their private intentions, leading up to a moment where the grandest city in the world must serve as their ultimate sanctuary. The focal point of this growing intrigue centers on one of the most historic and recognizable structures in the entire world, a venue that has stood as a monument to human achievement, artistic triumph, and athletic glory for generations. Madison Square Garden, situated directly above the subterranean labyrinth of Pennsylvania Station, is a place where legends are minted and history is written in stone. Usually, this iconic arena is the domain of sold-out rock concerts, high-stakes basketball games, and legendary hockey matches, echoing with the roars of 20,000 passionate fans under its unique cable-suspended roof. This week, however, the energy surrounding the world's most famous arena has shifted from public entertainment to an almost military level of private exclusivity. The casual tourist walking down 7th Avenue might only notice a slight increase in security or an unusual line of unmarked commercial vehicles, but to the trained eye, a logistical operation of staggering proportions is underway. This is not the standard setup for a weekend concert or a corporate convention. The sheer volume of equipment, the tight-lipped nature of the personnel involved, and the unprecedented security protocols being established indicate that the venue is being transformed into something entirely unprecedented in its long and storied history, as the final days of June gave way to the beginning of July. The perimeter around Madison Square Garden became the scene of intense, feverish activity that immediately caught the attention of sharp-eyed observers and media outlets alike. Large heavy-duty transport trucks began arriving in the early hours of Monday morning, lined up along the restricted loading zones like a mechanized convoy preparing for an elite operation. Teams of specialized technicians and crew members, all bound by strict protocols, began the arduous process of unloading massive crates of sophisticated electronics, heavy audio systems, and advanced stage automation components. The atmosphere on the ground was described by onlookers as incredibly tense, characterized by a level of secrecy that is rarely seen even for the highest-budget Hollywood productions. This was a workforce operating under maximum pressure, where every move was monitored and every piece of equipment was catalogued with meticulous precision. It became immediately clear that whatever is being constructed inside the vast emptiness of the arena is designed to be a visual and auditory masterpiece. A bespoke environment created for an audience of absolute elite distinction, adding to the growing sense of mystery and drama was the sudden appearance and subsequent disappearance of high-profile event markers right outside the venue's main entrance A's. Workers were spotted meticulously laying down a massive, luxurious red carpet over the grand steps leading into the arena, a classic symbol of prestige meant to welcome the world's most influential figures. However, before the adhesive could even dry, a high-ranking event coordinator, appearing noticeably stressed and wielding a walkie-talkie like a defensive weapon, swiftly intervened. In a moment of absolute chaos that stunned the working crews, the aide ordered the entire red carpet to be immediately rolled up, torn away, and removed from the site completely, leaving the laborers to feverishly undo hours of precise work under the blazing sun. Rumors instantly began to swirl through the crowd of onlookers regarding the cause of this sudden reversal, with whispering voices suggesting that a critical design detail had been completely botched, sparking an immediate and unyielding correction from the top management. This dramatic incident served as a stark reminder of the incredibly high stakes governing the event, where even the slightest imperfection in color, texture, or placement is treated as a catastrophic failure. Highlighting the absolute perfectionism driving this multi-million-dollar operation behind closed doors. The sudden and chaotic removal of the red carpet from the majestic steps of Madison Square Garden provided just a small, dramatic glimpse into the absolute perfectionism and high-stakes tension governing this monumental operation. As the initial confusion settled, reports began to emerge explaining the sudden disruption, revealing that the primary issue was an exact shade of color. Industry insiders suggested that the team had mistakenly laid down a standard Hollywood crimson carpet when the explicit directive from the top coordinators required a highly specific, custom-dyed royal purple pathway designed to match a grand visual theme. To the average observer, a slight variation in fabric color might seem entirely trivial, but in an environment where millions of dollars are deployed to create a flawless visual paradise, such details are worth stopping an entire workforce for. The incident highlighted the immense pressure resting on the shoulders of the event planners and aides, who were seen pacing the loading bays with walkie-talkies firmly in hand, their faces completely devoid of smiles as they directed teams of laborers under the humid summer sky. Every single worker on site had already been subjected to unprecedented corporate security measures before even lifting a single crate. Upon arriving at the venue at the dawn of the week, every technician, carpenter, and engineer was forced to surrender their personal cell phones to prevent any unauthorized leaks, sneaky photographs, or accidental social media updates, creating a complete information blackout within the walls of the world's most famous arena, while the workers inside labored under a strict vow of digital silence. The massive physical infrastructure required for this three-day extravaganza continued to arrive in a steady, overwhelming stream. Observers noted that several of the massive transport trailers parked along the restricted zones bore highly specific identification markers, including signs taped to the upper frames reading Type 1 AUD Deck and Type 2 V Air. To those familiar with the upper echelons of global entertainment logistics, these labels confirmed that this private event was utilizing the absolute pinnacle of live event engineering. This specific transportation and staging hardware is manufactured by Tate Towers, a world-renowned firm famous for constructing complex, automated staging systems for the biggest stadium tours in musical history. Most notably utilized during a certain record-breaking global musical tour that dominated stadiums worldwide over the past several years. These modified shipping containers house incredibly heavy, state-of-the-art audio equipment, automated lighting structures, and advanced kinetic staging mechanisms capable of transforming a flat arena floor into a multi-tiered, moving piece of architectural art. The inclusion of this specific industrial-grade touring equipment suggests that this wedding celebration is not merely a dinner and a ceremony, but a full-scale, custom-built theatrical production featuring bespoke live performances that require the same technological precision as a global pop star's stadium concert. The extraordinary scale of this transformation becomes even more staggering when examining the financial figures quietly circulating through elite circles in New York City. Securing an iconic, massive venue like Madison Square Garden for 3 consecutive days is an achievement that requires astronomical wealth and immense cultural leverage. Reports indicate that the couple has splurged an astounding $3 million just to rent the facility, ensuring total exclusivity over the course of 72 hours to cover the massive logistical timeline of initial stage setup, the actual 2 days of intensive ceremonies, and the eventual complete breakdown and cleanup. Yet the rental fee for the building itself is only a single piece of the financial puzzle. In a city like New York, hosting an event of this magnitude with an influx of the world's most recognizable faces creates an immediate, highly complex security challenge that extends far beyond the arena's private security guards. To ensure absolute safety and prevent public chaos on the crowded streets of Manhattan, the couple has reportedly dropped an eye-watering 6-figure sum of approximately $160,000 strictly for law enforcement presence provided by the New York City Police Department during the main days of the festivities on Thursday and Friday. Tinel law enforcement data suggests that the sheer volume of police personnel assigned to guard this private union resembles the security apparatus of a major international political summit. More than 70 highly trained detectives from the NYPD are slated to be actively deployed on both days, working intensive 8.5-hour shifts to secure the perimeter and monitor potential threats. With hourly pay scales for these specialized investigative units ranging anywhere between $80 and $90, the financial commitment for the detective presence alone easily racks up to over $95,000. In addition to these investigative units, 50 traditional police officers have been specifically tasked with managing the immediate external perimeter around Madison Square Garden, working extended 9-hour shifts at a rate of approximately $70 an hour to handle crowd control and traffic management, contributing an additional $63,000 to the overall security budget. Furthermore, high-ranking officials and department higher-ups within the NYPD will be physically present to supervise the entire multi-layered operation, pushing the final security invoice to its ultimate 6-figure total. Metal security barriers have been tightly locked together around the loading docks and every major entrance, while official city-sanctioned tow parking signs have specified that the surrounding streets are completely off-limits to the public from June 20th all the way through the national holiday on July 4th. As the physical security apparatus tightened on the streets of Manhattan, a parallel wave of intense secrecy began to unfold for the select group of individuals fortunate enough to receive an official invitation to the grand affair. In a move that surprised many within elite Hollywood and sports circles, the couple chose to keep their own wedding guests completely in the dark regarding the exact location of the ceremony until the absolute last minute. Insiders close to the couple revealed that those who scored a coveted invitation were simply instructed to travel to New York City and ensure their availability for July 2nd and July 3rd, with absolutely no further details or specific venue names provided on the initial stationery. The A-list couple is intentionally putting their high-profile guests on hold for a couple of days, prioritizing complete operational security over guest convenience. To maintain this ironclad fortress of privacy, guests who formally RSVP'd to the event were immediately sent a secure digital link containing a strict, comprehensive non-disclosure agreement. This legally binding document requires all attendees, including immediate family members and lifelong friends, to vow never to disclose a single detail about the schedule, the decorations, or the activities to any media outlet or public platform. This unprecedented level of confidentiality has turned the upcoming days into a thrilling, high-stakes waiting game for the entertainment world, as 1,000 elite attendees wait in luxury Manhattan hotel rooms for the final encrypted message that will tell them exactly when and where to step out of their limousines. The absolute wall of silence surrounding this gathering only heightens the grand realization of what this union represents, a spectacular culmination of 2 extraordinary lives that have unfolded in the bright glare of the public eye. According to architectural plans and schedules that have quietly leaked through elite journalistic channels, The celebration within Madison Square Garden is divided into two distinct, masterfully planned phases. On the first official night, Thursday, July 2nd, the couple is hosting an intimate, highly exclusive gathering inside a custom-designed, scaled-down sanctuary built within the arena walls. This initial event is reserved strictly for immediate family members, childhood friends, and the absolute closest inner circle, allowing the couple a rare moment of genuine emotional connection away from the overwhelming scale of global media attention. The following evening, Friday, July 3rd, the venue will undergo a massive transformation to welcome a larger, breathtaking affair featuring roughly 1,000 attendees. This massive guest list reads like a definitive registry of modern cultural significance, bridging the worlds of legendary rock music, Hollywood royalty, elite fashion designers, and championship athletes. To entertain this historic gathering of minds and talent, the couple has reportedly enlisted the musical services of the bride's deeply cherished, longtime friends and industry mentors, the ethereal rock icon Stevie Nicks and the pioneering country music legend Tim McGraw, ensuring that the soundtrack to this monumental evening is just as timeless as the venue hosting it. To understand why this specific moment has captured the collective imagination of millions around the globe, one must look back at the incredible, intertwining journeys of the two heroes at the center of this modern fairy tale. The bride, a creative powerhouse whose poetic songwriting has served as the emotional blueprint for an entire generation, has spent nearly 2 decades navigating the tumultuous waters of global fame. From her humble beginnings as a teenage country singer strumming an acoustic guitar to her ascension as an undisputed titan of the global music industry, her journey has been defined by an unrelenting work ethic and a rare ability to transform personal vulnerability into universal anthems. For years, her personal life was subjected to intense public scrutiny, with every relationship dissected by critics and commentators who often overlooked the profound human being behind the multi-platinum records. Her path finally crossed with a man who possesses an equally legendary, larger-than-life presence in the demanding arena of professional sports. A dominant championship tight end celebrated for his fierce competitive drive, unmatched athletic intelligence, and a magnetic, boisterous charisma that has made him one of the most beloved figures in American football. He brought a completely different kind of energy into her world. He represents stability, an unshakable confidence, and an authentic joy that immediately complemented her creative spirit, creating a balanced partnership that felt uniquely grounded despite their combined astronomical fame. The romantic foundation for this grand New York City spectacle was quietly laid down in August of the previous year, during a moment that was profoundly intimate compared to the stadium-sized events that define their daily lives. The elite sports star chose to bypass the traditional luxury destinations of the global wealthy, opting instead to transform his own private backyard in Kansas City into a breathtaking secret garden wonderland. Under a canopy of carefully curated floral arrangements, soft ambient lighting, and secluded pathways, he popped the monumental question, asking the world's most famous songwriter to share the rest of her life with him. When the news was finally shared with the public, the bride posted a series of warm, candid photos from the private engagement on her social media platforms, accompanied by a brilliantly witty and deeply affectionate caption that read, "Your English teacher and your gym teacher are getting married." This simple, self-aware phrase perfectly captured the essence of their dynamic, a playful nod to their vastly different professional domains that somehow fit together with flawless harmony. Since that private summer night in Missouri, the couple has been quietly executing a multi-million-dollar master plan to celebrate their union on a scale that matches the cultural footprint of their historic relationship, beyond the sheer romance and celebrity glamour. This unprecedented wedding extravaganza holds a much deeper significance, serving as a historic marker for the evolution of modern entertainment and public interest. Madison Square Garden has hosted political conventions, papal visits, and historic championship battles, but it has never before been rented in its entirety to serve as the private canvas for a matrimonial union. The event represents a fascinating shift in how cultural icons utilize their immense wealth and influence, choosing to completely commandeer public landmarks to create impenetrable fortresses of privacy. By deploying a private army of staging technicians from firms like Jet Sets and Tate Towers, and funding a massive 6-figure law enforcement operation involving hundreds of NYPD officers and detectives, the couple has demonstrated how modern royalty navigates the challenges of total global visibility. They have successfully transformed a public monument into a private sanctuary, setting a completely new standard for high-profile events in the 21st century. It is a logistical triumph, a financial marvel, and a testament to the enduring power of their shared narrative, proving that even in an age of constant digital surveillance, true love can still find a way to create an exclusive, unforgettable world of its own. As the final trucks finish unloading their heavy cargoes of automated lighting, kinetic stages, and custom-dyed purple carpeting, the grand machinery of Madison Square Garden stands fully prepared to witness history once again. The hundreds of workers who handed over their communication devices at the start of the week have successfully built an enchanting hidden world beneath the historic cable-suspended roof, completely insulated from the frantic pace of the Manhattan streets below. In a matter of hours, the 1,000 elite guests currently waiting in anticipation across the city's finest luxury hotels will receive their final encrypted coordinates. Stepping out into the secured perimeter guarded by the finest of the New York City Police Department, this monumental gathering of cultural giants, legendary musicians, and elite athletes will step through the heavily guarded entrances to watch two of the world's most influential figures vow to stand by each other forever. It is the definitive closing chapter of a long, heavily documented journey toward personal happiness, and the spectacular beginning of a brand new era for a couple that has permanently redefined what it means to live, love, and conquer the world together under the grandest lights imaginable.